Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, you and I are jumping headfirst into, well, a pretty epic world. We're talking Sarah J. Maas, specifically House of Flame and Shadow.
The big one. The third Crescent City book.
Exactly. And we've got some great source material to guide us, a really solid summary, some sharp analysis, and a review, too. Gives us a good picture. So our mission, basically, is to pull out the key stuff about this Maas-verse convergence everyone's talking about. Why is it such a big deal for fans and, you know, for fantasy in general? Okay, let's get into it.
Yeah, and what's really fascinating right away is that, look, this isn't just book 3 in a series.
Right.
House of Flame and Shadow feels different. It's presented almost like a nexus point, a hinge.
A hinge point, okay.
Yeah, where Maas is properly, boldly weaving her different universes together, not just hinting. It's this really ambitious move, and it kind of changes how you look at all her previous work, doesn't it? It suggests this huge overarching plan.
That idea of a nexus point definitely sets the scene. We'll absolutely circle back to that whole grand tapestry idea. But first, let's get grounded. The sources talk about the immediate situation after House of Sky and Breath, which, wow, what a cliffhanger that was.
Oh yeah, brutal.
So where do we actually pick things up? Bryce Quinlan, our main character, she's in a bad spot right now.
Totally stranded, yeah. And not just anywhere. She's dropped into this completely new world, dangerous, confusing.
Okay.
But, and this is key, the summary points out, this world is going to feel familiar. Familiar if you're a fan. If you've read Maas's other series, that's the first big clue, right?
Yeah.
Something major is happening.
Gotcha. So Bryce is dealing with that. What about Hunt back in Midgard?
Hunt's situation is just as dire, maybe worse in some ways. He's captured.
Sifted by who?
By the Astri, the big bads. And he's basically powerless.
Wow. For a character like Hunt, that's got to be rough.
Exactly. It's a huge arc for him dealing with that vulnerability. And it's not just them. Midgard itself is descending into chaos.
How so?
Well, the Astries are cracking down, tightening their control. But underneath, you feel this resistance building, a rebellion simmering, you know, in the shadows.
Okay, so multiple fires burning at once, heroes separated, world in chaos. How does she even juggle all that?
That's where the structure comes in. Our analysis piece really highlights this.
Right.
She uses multiple points of view,
right.
Which, I mean, she has to with this scope.
So it's not just Bryce.
Oh, no. You're with Bryce trying to figure out this new world, making maybe some unexpected allies. You're with Hunt in his captivity, feeling that desperation. But then you also get Rune and his friends. Okay.
Back in Midgard.
Yeah, navigating the politics, the resistance movement. You even get glimpses of the wider city, you know, Midgard on the edge.
So it gives you the full picture.
It does. And it allows the story to blend that sort of gritty urban fantasy feel with real epic high fantasy stakes. It makes everything feel more urgent, more dangerous for everyone involved.
Yeah, I can see how that would work. It sounds intense.
It is. You're jumping between these high stakes situations constantly.
Okay, so speaking of weaving things together,
right?
Let's talk about the main event. The thing that makes this book stand out so much, the Maas-verse convergence.
Yes. This is where it gets really interesting.
Our sources are super clear on this. This isn't just a few nods or Easter eggs.
No, not at all.
She's actively pulling threads from Crescent City, obviously, but also from A Court of Thorns and Roses
ACOTAR.
and Throne of Glass, like properly bringing them together.
Into one big interconnected saga.
Yeah.
It's incredibly ambitious. You have to admire the scale of it.
Totally. And the summary mentions trying to stay spoiler-free here for you, but it teases things like shocking alliances.
Things you wouldn't expect.
Massive battles, betrayals, and those emotional reunions people have been hoping for.
Absolutely. It promises a lot on that front.
So the world-building implications must be huge, though.
Oh, massive. It's not just adding a map point. She's expanding the whole cosmology, right?
Yeah.
Merging these distinct fantasy worlds into a unified thing.
Yeah.
A single narrative tapestry.
More than just cameos.
Way more. It's a fundamental structural crossover. That's why Nexus Point feels right.
Yeah.
It really cements this book as pivotal in her entire output.
Okay, so if we connect that to the bigger picture, like you mentioned, what does that actually mean for an author to do this?
Well, think about the planning involved. The sheer complexity.
Years, probably.
Years. And a deep, almost encyclopedic knowledge of her own lore. magic systems, timelines, character histories from 3 different series, all needing to mesh to feel organic, not just jammed together.
That sounds incredibly difficult.
It is. And it raises big questions for fantasy authors, doesn't it?
Yeah.
How far can you push interconnectedness? Can you pull it off without, alienating readers who haven't read everything?
Right, the barrier to entry.
Exactly. It's a high-risk, high-reward kind of move.
Yeah.
Could definitely set a precedent.
It really makes you appreciate the groundwork she must have been laying. So, okay, beyond the massive crossover and the world merging, what's at the heart of it? For the characters, what themes are coming through?
The analysis points to some really core SJM themes, but maybe amplified here.
Like what?
Like identity, definitely. Who are these characters when everything familiar is stripped away? Or when they're forced into new roles?
Okay.
Sacrifice, obviously. What's the cost of fighting for freedom? Especially against an enemy like the Astery. That whole freedom versus control thing is central. And of course, love. Love under pressure, tested by impossible circumstances, and the cost of rebellion, the real brutal cost.
So these big ideas, how do they play out?
Well, it raises that important question, doesn't it? What does it actually mean to fight for who you are, for your people, when the world's basically falling apart?
Yeah.
And these themes aren't just background noise. They're baked into the character arcs, into the plot itself. Every fight scene, every quiet moment, every political maneuver, it all ties back to these core ideas.
So it drives character development too.
Hugely. Take Bryce. The source describes her showing incredible resilience, but also real growth. She has to confront some hard truths about herself, her power, her place in all this. It's not just about learning new magic tricks, it's internal transformation.
And what about Hunt? You mentioned his vulnerability.
Exactly. For a character so defined by his power, being forced into powerlessness, that's a deep struggle. It forces him to confront different parts of himself.
It sounds like it's not just the main two either.
No, definitely not. Characters like Run, Ethan, people who were maybe secondary before, they're stepping up, taking on much bigger roles, facing their own trials.
So it feels like a collective struggle.
It really does. It shows that this fight requires everyone, pushing them all to grow. And Maas is, she's really good at balancing that. The political maneuvering, the big action set pieces, and that intense romance her readers love.
Right, the signature blend.
Yeah. It keeps the personal stakes incredibly high, even when the fate of worlds is on the line. You feel the character's choices.
It really does sound like an emotional roller coaster. Balancing intimate character stuff with this massive, epic scale. How does she pull that off, keep it engaging?
A lot of it comes down to her writing style, which our source highlights.
What's characteristic about it?
It's described as really fast-paced, lots of witty dialogue, sharp banter, those big emotional moments that really land, and very detailed, almost cinematic action scenes.
Okay, but what about the complexity? Does it get overwhelming?
The review does acknowledge that. And it says some readers might find it sprawling, which, I mean, given she's merging 3 universes, you can see why, right?
Sure, lots to keep track of.
But, and this is important, it also notes that the dedicated fans, they usually love that density. They enjoy piecing it all together, finding the connections.
So it rewards the committed reader.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
To give that balanced view, though, the review does lay out strengths and weaknesses.
Okay, what are they?
Strengths are pretty much what we've been talking about.
Yeah.
The epic crossover, the expanded universe, those really strong emotional beats between characters. And the high stakes, the intense battles. She delivers on that front.
And the weaknesses.
Mainly the flip side of the ambition.
Yeah.
It's long.
Yeah.
Very long. And potentially overwhelming with all the subplots.
Right, the sprawling aspect.
Yeah. It's like, imagine this incredibly detailed, massive painting. It's breathtaking, but you could see how someone might feel a bit lost in all the detail at times.
That's a good way to put it. And what about readers who maybe haven't read, say, Throne of Glass?
That's the other potential weakness the review points out. It could be confusing because the book leans so heavily on lore and characters from ACOTAR and Throne of Glass. If you're coming in cold, you might miss a lot.
Yeah.
Or just feel adrift.
So it kind of demands you've done the homework.
It kind of does, which leads to that question again. How does an author manage that scope, balancing rewarding longtime fans with, not completely shutting out newer readers?
Yeah.
It speaks to the level of commitment these interconnected series now ask of readers. It's not just reading one story anymore. It's investing in a whole universe. For many, that's part of the fun, but it's definitely a bigger ask.
A big ask, but it sounds like for fans who are invested, the payoff is huge. So wrapping this all up then, it seems pretty undeniable that House of Flame and Shadow is, well, essential reading for Sarah J. Maas fans.
Absolutely. A must-read.
And definitely one of her boldest, most ambitious projects yet. Hopefully this deep dive is giving you a good handle on why it's such a significant book. The plot, the characters, and especially this huge universe-merging event without giving away the big surprises.
It really shows an author working at an incredible scale.
For sure.
And, if we connect this back to the bigger picture one last time,
Yep.
what does this kind of move mean for fantasy going forward?
What do you mean?
Well, does this set a new standard? Are we going to see more authors attempting these massive multi-series crossovers, building these huge interconnected narratives across their entire careers?
Or does it highlight the challenges?
The complexity for the author, the potential barrier for readers? Does it risk making series less accessible?
Interesting thought.
And now that Maas has created this truly unified Maasverse, what's next? How does she continue to build on this even grander stage without maybe losing the focus of the individual stories within it? Where does the saga go now?
Lots to think about there, definitely. The future of epic fantasy storytelling feels like it's evolving right in front of us. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the Maasverse. Keep asking questions, keep exploring these amazing worlds, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.